Hello everybody, Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. I'm standing in my kitchen. I'm looking at the utility room. That's right where I was shot. We're going to go in there and I'm going to show you that room. And to give you the background, on the day I shot, January 28, 2012, I'd got home from the grocery store, figured out somebody had noticed somebody had been in my house again. I had been reporting repeated burglaries to my house to the police for over a year at that time. And then of course I towered some spare doors shut, trying to figure out which room they were coming in at. Burglar alarms started going off over and over and over. I knew they were in my house, and I was under a home invasion. I was coming through here. I was going to go out that door, which goes in the garage, the back door, and boom, I fell to the ground right there. I'm going to show you. Okay, this is a tiny little room right here. Washer and dryers in here, cabinet. I'm going to show you when I pan around. That's the water heater closet. That's it. This is about 8 foot by 9 foot, tiny room. And so I fell right here. Okay, the shot came in from this direction, and I'll show you on my foot right here. You can see where it entered my foot right here and come out the back on the other side over here. Okay, and I fell. I didn't know what happened. The shot was 2 inches above ground level, the entrance and exit wounds. And so the shooter was under this cabinet right there, waiting for me to walk by and shoot me. Here's the important thing. I didn't know they were there. Well, they could have left, right? They could have left out the same tunnel they came in at, but they chose to stay and kill me. That's the point. This was premeditated, cold-blooded murder. Whoever's out there walking around is a killer that breaks into private homes and murders unsuspected homeowners. Let me show you some evidence. Hello, this is Buddy Webb. Now we're looking at some evidence. This is the nurse's notes from my permanent medical records, and they were taken minutes after I shot, 11:27 right here, and I was crawling out at 10:42. ER nurse Cresswell was documenting me saying there are sirens going off. The alarms kept going off. I was under a home invasion when I was shot, and there was a voice recorder proving that was going on, and the police stole the voice recorder. That's a whole nother story, but that was the point I was making. I was shot by surprise from point blank range with burglar alarms going off, and my phone line's cut. Okay, I'm gonna show you another piece of evidence. This is super important right here. This means everything right here. Proof that I wasn't shot with my gun. Because if I ain't shot with my gun, I'm shot with another gun. That means somebody came to my house and shot me. That's what I said all along, and this is the proof. And we know where I was shot from, and so we know where I shot. We know I wasn't shot with my gun. That tells us where the shooter was located. They were under my home. Okay, so the size of pellets removed from my foot were 2.5 sizes different in my gun. Doctor said you removed a large amount of plastic. Wouldn't be there if I shot with my 12 gauge gun. Lisa told me I was shot with a 45 handgun. The crime scene investigator checked in live shells from my gun, but he didn't check in an empty shell. It would have been there if I had shot myself. And there's more and more and more and more evidence showing that I was not shot with my gun. I mean, that's a fact. That means somebody shot me. Now, that cabinet we looked at in there was a new cabinet. This was the cabinet that was there when I shot and when I bought the home. Okay, and what I want to call your attention to is it was never put together right. There's a door missing, there's shells missing, the kickboard's missing, and I now know it was a trap door. The ex-wife told me that there was a trap door in this house, but she didn't say where it was at. I didn't know where it was at. But in this room, though, she did ask me one day, what's different about this room? And she was dropping hints and clues, that, hey, there's a trap door under that cabinet right there and they're going to murder you from it or whatever. But anyway, that's what the cabinet looked like. I want to show you that. And here, let me show you a front view of this cabinet, weird cabinet. Like I said, the kickboard is missing. This board I put in after I returned from the hospital. That was all open when I bought the house. Because so I had no answer. I just bought a house as is. It didn't have a door. It didn't have shells. It didn't have a kickboard. It's because it was rigged. It was a trapdoor entrance to the house, and that's where the shot come from. We know where I shot. We know I wasn't shot with my gun. That's where the shooter was at. and here's the entrance and exit wounds. So the gun was like 2 inches above ground level. They were waiting for me to walk by and pulled the trigger, okay? With my phone lines cut, this was premeditated. And as I made a point a while ago, is they could have left. I didn't know they were there, okay? Now, here's the big deal. That's what I'm saying. They were in no danger whatsoever because I didn't know they were there. They could have left. They came to kill me. These are cold-blooded killers. There's no doubt about that one, okay? In the other side of the house, in the bathroom of one of the doors I tie-wired shut when I returned from the hospital, I found pry marks on top of that door, and I had painted this whole house when I got here. That happened when I was shot, and that told me I had trapped a burglar in this bathroom on when I come home from the grocery store, recognized somebody had been in my house. And so there was a person trapped in this room here, and I'm sure it was a dire situation for them, because if they called the police and they turned themselves in, then all the police that were under my home would be arrested, the underground homes would be exposed, and all the murder of the little girl, the murder of the last homeowner, all the other homes that are rigged with underground access. It was going to hold domino on them, and because of this trap burglar. Now that you see why, one reason why they would want to kill me. Interestingly, this picture right here, when I went to the FBI and I was telling him my story, he was sitting there playing on his phone, and he pulls up this picture without me telling him about it. He already knew, and I think the reason is because that's the excuse. That there was a trap burglar, and they're trying to use that excuse to try to murder me in my home. And even the FBI seemed to be using that as an excuse for murder. And the truth is, this person was caught during the commission of a felony. It was a burglary of a habitation, and they got trapped, and so then they tried to murder their way out of it. They could have called the police and reported that they were a burglar and they got trapped. And here's the last piece of evidence right here, showing the police report for the night of the murder attempt, illegally withheld for 7 years, and it's what time-stamped 5 police officers as being at or in my home that were not seen arriving on the security cameras that saw Woodward and Naylor. That's how we know they were under my home. Matt Davis, Tony Dickey, Greg Chatwell, Kenny Angel, Dylan Hell. I suspect there's more of them, but we have absolute proof those police were under my home, and somebody under my home tried to murder me. So now y'all see the facts. What's going on here is lawlessness. And then when I tell you that the last guy right here, I believe he was murdered here, and I wonder if them police were under this home. I was told there were pedophile parties going on. I wonder if those police were at those pedophile parties. Notice they never denied it. This is Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.